welcome back to Old House Redo. I'm Jeff, and we're back at the East Deering Cottage doing some final repairs and beautification to get this house ready to be painted. And I will just take a walk around with you, go all the way around the house and just show you the different things since the last time I did a video on the East Deering Cottage. Just show you where we're at and how very little we have left to do before we can hand this over to the painting company to scrape sand and paint it. So let's do that now. So we'll start in this corner here. Over the last couple weeks, of course, this is the corner that started it all, where we put trim up just to give a preview of what was going to be happening. We started work this week on the dormers. So as you can see here on the side, we have new clapboards, new trim coming down. And just to give you a compare and contrast, there's the new non-rotten AZEK trim up there. And up there in the corner you can see how the trim and the clapboards along the roof line have rotted out. So we're just replacing those with new. And you can especially see it on the other side. We've only done one side of this dormer. We're going to paint the protectors for the gas meter the same color as the house. That's just going to hide them a little bit better. So in the front, over the last couple weeks since our last video, we put a new piece of trim right across the bottom of the front gable, just so that when the house is painted the same color as the garage, it'll have a nice little triangle. It'll really pop. I didn't want the dark gray to spill down into the lower part of the house, so that just separates the two parts of the house. We finished the front door, so we have it all primed up. It's all wired up, and there are the new lights. These are particularly gorgeous. Love those. There's a can up at the top that illuminates the door at night. And if you saw the last video, I did a step-by-step on how I created those diamonds here in the 1960s edition. So you can take a look at that. I'll link it above. We've completely redone this dormer for the most part. The clapboards that are up high were okay. They just need to be scraped, sanded, and painted. We did replace lower. We replaced the trim like we're doing on the other dormers, but on this dormer, the window trim was in particularly bad shape. So took that all off, replaced it with AZEK, so that should last quite a while. On both sides we replaced all the clapboards just because there was a lot of rot. We finished up this side of the house. This side of the house is being postponed until next year or the year after as far as rehabbing. This chimney has been deemed by masons unworthy of saving, so it's going to come down, at which point we'll address this side of the house and get it in good shape. So for now we're just going to the painters are going to scrape this and paint it and call it good for now, and then we'll revisit that in a year or two. We've done that corner here, so that corner is all set to go. Now over here we're anxiously awaiting a shipment of a new door that will match the one that's over on the garage to go here. In the meantime, we've made a little transom above what will be eventually the new door. And once the new door is here and installed, we'll trim this out so that it, comes down proportionately to the transom. But we needed to get that up there so that we could, there used to be a light literally this low next to the door, which was no bueno. Needed to move. So to get it up there, we actually had to build a transom out, because here in the middle behind that is a stud. So it was unable to go dead center over the door without coming out a little bit from the house. So that's why that is there. There's the new light ready to go. And again, we're just waiting. This will be the absolute last project that we do. One of the biggest improvements so far on this house was repairing this little detail piece between the bottom cedar shake portion of the house and the top cedar clapboard portion of the house. The piece right in here was in terrible shape. Even though it's not the most exciting part of this project, it was definitely the biggest improvement overall on the whole house. The house was in relatively good shape all the way around. What we're doing is just improving it, giving it some more detail, and specifically getting it ready to paint. This piece here needed to come off and get replaced with new, and that's what we've done here. Just a little bit of detail. And the other goal, the old one used to come down about two inches down this crown molding here that runs all the way around the house. At this point here went down 2 inches. So the crown molding that wraps all the way around the house, just in this portion, was down 2 inches. It drove me nuts. So we've gotten it so that it's all at the same level all the way around the house, which was the goal, really, and also the second part of the goal being to replace that with something that's not rotten and terrible looking. So that's what we've done there. I did take the time on a rainy day to just take a heat gun to the crown molding and get all the layers of paint off of it so that the detail really shows up. Here we are at this back corner, and I'll show you how now the crown molding actually wraps all the way around. So again, before, about this point where the gutter is, the crown molding was just down 2 inches, and the thing that was here was just in terrible condition. In fact, I'll show you a picture of it now. So that's where we're at. We got the scaffolding up, not so much to stand on, just to catch me, so if I roll off the roof, I have a place to go that's not the ground. So basically what we have left on this entire project, and before we do the final wrap-up video, is this second side of this dormer. We've already done the other side. Both sides, the trim, and probably the windowsill and bottom 2 clapboards on the front. I always say bottom 2 need to be replaced, but as you can see over here, only the bottom 2 needed to be replaced. But I ended up having to go up 4 rows just because they're so small and break easily. The last part of the project will be right here at the back door. So we're going to do the trim around the new door that's going to go in there. Obviously fill in the cedar shakes where there aren't any, and then the side of this dormer here, we're just gonna take all these cedar shakes, or shingles, pardon me, off clapboards and replace them with new ones. It's all rotten here along the roof line, mostly because they were put too close, but I did notice that they did not prime the edges of the clapboards, so that contributed to their downfall. Of course, that and they're 70 years old. So that's the next step after I finish the second dormer on the driveway side of the house. We'll do that, and then we're waiting still for that door to be shipped. So one more dormer, this part here, and then the back door. And this project, for the time being, will be done. And we just anxiously await the painters. The painters will be here in May, and I'll stop by and take a video for you then as well, so you can see it painted. Again, it's going to be the same color as the garage, which I redid last year. So that's it for now. Stay tuned, and we'll show you the final little pieces that are going to come together to finish up this project. Thanks for watching.